Hi everyone, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and hello if you're new. I know it's been a long time since I last uploaded onto YouTube, and for that I'm really sorry, but I have a new game plan which I'm very excited about. For those of you who might not be aware, maybe you don't follow me on social media, I have recently set up a Instagram page called the Creative Business Guide. And the premise of this page is to really give an insight into the business side of being a creative. So it's lots of like hints and tips and business advice, all tailored towards creatives. Because one thing I'm really aware of is, as creatives, we tend to be quite introverted. We don't really like to sell ourselves, and we really have to. In today's day and age, we really have to be quite extroverted when it comes to sales and that kind of thing. And I know it's something that a lot of us struggle with. Not only the business side of things, but also having the right mindset, the right confidence levels, being positive about who we are and what we deliver. So the Creative Business Guide was formed. It's something that I wanted to do for a long time, but it was only when I bought this house that I've now got a bit more space to film and a lot more creative space to develop new ideas, I guess. So I launched the Instagram page about a month ago, and the premise of the page, as I said, is mainly business advice and guides, ebooks, masterclasses on my website, SEO, branding as a creative, social media, Instagram, that kind of thing, like deep dive into everything to do with running a successful creative business. And I really want the page to, and the guides and everything, to sort of really empower you to believe in yourself and to pursue your creative dreams. So, but as I said, there's almost like a big gap that I felt, and I couldn't just base the Creative Business Guide on business. I had to be about mindset and confidence as well, because it goes hand in hand. And so I thought that I would tailor my YouTube channel now towards weekly videos. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, weekly videos all about confidence and mental sort of capability, not mental capability, like positive mindset, wellness, everything like the behind the scenes of being a creative. The ebooks and guides and things like that, masterclasses, are all tailored towards running a business and teach you the theory of business, but I really wanted to create a well-rounded platform. So this is like a safe space for you to come if you feel a little bit low, if you need a bit of a confidence boost, if you want to find out some business knowledge or mindset knowledge or anything like that. This is the place to come. So I'll link the new website and Instagram page down below, but anyway, that's by the by. For today's first video in this new series, I really want to talk to you about fear of failure. It's something that I hear all the time about people being afraid to step outside their comfort zones. And I've been there, I get it. It's terrifying setting up and starting a creative business. Like, I don't think it's really easy for people to look at someone who's been doing their business or been in business for several years, when they've built up a portfolio, they've built up a client base, they've built up so much and an Instagram following, and they go, oh well, it's easy for them, I don't have the same confidence. Like, neither did I, and I still don't to a certain degree. I still find so much of business really tough, and I'm still navigating and learning every single day. It's not something that comes easily or naturally to me, so I have to work on it every day, and I really want to share that journey. So yeah, fear of failure is a big thing, and it's something that really needs to be spoken about. So I just wanted to make this video to explain exactly what fear is and how you can work towards possibly like making friends with fear and not being so afraid of it. So in the world there is fear. Like, for example, if you were to be in a really dangerous situation where you feel threatened, or you feel like you're genuinely at risk, that is when we're meant to feel fear the most. So when there's like a threat to our life, our body uses fear in that instance to help keep us safe. And this is completely normal. This is like a normal reaction, and it's something that happens to every single one of us. But the thing is, our mind can't tell the difference between actually what is fear and what we tell it is fear. Like, for example, there are certain situations, i.e. stepping outside your comfort zone, or pursuing a new business, or putting yourself on camera, that we might feel really, really vulnerable and therefore feel some fear. So like when we take a big leap out of our comfort zones. And because we have these feelings of apprehension, we get worried and things like that, our brains can't really tell the difference between real life, i.e. actual threat to life, and these scenarios that we build up in our heads. So in these situations, we might feel vulnerable, or we might feel fearful, and our mind can't tell the difference. And so it tends to behave in such a similar way as if we were actually in danger. So what tends to happen in that situation is we might enter like the flight or fight zone or mode, and depending on what sort of person you are will depend on the way your body will react, or your brain will react. So some of us will run and hide, some of us will fight it out, some of us will work through it, or some of us will just freeze. And that's our body's natural way of trying to keep us safe. But these feelings of fear usually stem from something quite a lot deeper than what's just on the surface. And these sorts of feelings of fear that we tend to feel on a daily basis around certain scenarios all tend to stem down to three things. The first one is fear of failure, the second one is fear of judgment, and the third one is fear of ourselves or fear of our own potential. So for example, what would happen if we stepped outside of our comfort zone and it went right and the most amazing thing happened and our whole life changed and we changed for the better? Is that sort of those feelings of like, oh my god, like what if this could be the biggest thing ever? And even though that sounds amazing, that fear is almost like a fear feeling, right? And that can hold us back in so many different ways. This fear of failure can hold so many of us back. So I really want you to ask yourself, what is failure to you? Like, what does that actually mean to you? Because for me, I like to think of failure as not a failure, it's just a first attempt of learning something new. So if you do something and it doesn't necessarily work out, have you actually failed, or have you just learned something? The only way, in my opinion, that you ever truly actually fail at something is if you don't try in the first place. So if you have big ambitions or big dreams, big goals that you want to try and pursue or achieve, but you don't take any action and you stay in your current scenario, that's where you're failing. And you're failing yourself, to be honest. So if you know you want to change your life and you are worried about fear of failure, so you don't do anything to change it, that's essentially where you're failing. But if you do try and push yourself out of your comfort zone and you do take that leap of faith and it doesn't work out, then you haven't really failed, have you? You've learned a lesson on how to change and move forward, to grow and adapt and develop as a person, as a business. So really there's no need to be scared of failure, because you just need to almost change your mindset a little bit and just look at it as a lesson. Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? And the more failures or the more lessons we go through in life, the stronger we become, the more we learn, the more we develop. And by stepping outside our comfort zones, we change and develop so much as people, and it sort of helps us navigate the course of our life. In life, obviously, there's so many ups and downs, and there's no like linear trajectory as to how things are meant to go. Our life is going to be up and down. You're going to make mistakes, so it's best to, and a lot of the time, even though these things can seem massive in our heads at one time, when we look back in hindsight, even what seems massive at that moment, you'll think back in like 6 weeks and be like, whatever, that was easy, I can do that every day now. It's just getting used to a new thing. Anything's scary the first time you step outside your comfort zone, right? But the more you do it, or even getting over that initial first hurdle, you'll be absolutely fine. First time I put myself on camera, you've watched my first ever YouTube video, I was petrified. Now I'm still not 100%, this is like 3-4 years on, but I'm a lot more casual about it, because I know at the end of the day, I've got nothing to lose. I'm trying to help people, and I don't really care too much anymore. But anyway, coming back to failure, so many of us would think like, oh, but what if it goes wrong? But I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to try and consider like, but what if it goes right? What if that one decision that you've been holding back on is the best decision you've ever made? And you have to understand that even if you are to fail, or you were to fail with this big decision, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? The answer is most probably you'll end up back in the situation you're currently in. Then is that really the worst thing you can go back to if it all goes wrong? But one thing I want you to know is most of the time things don't go wrong. In fact, things work out so much better than you could ever possibly imagine. So that is sort of like the first, and I'm really sorry if this is rocky because I'm balancing it on a table. So that is the first fear of failure. The second one is fear of judgment. What people might think of you, or how people perceive you. If you were to put yourself out there, for example, someone might think you're too much or not enough, but really deep down, should you really be caring what other people think? Because isn't that just a reflection on them? Like deep down, do you consider it a priority to care about what other people think of you? Because if the answer is yes, then I think you really need to be asking yourself, why do you care so much? And I know it sounds really harsh, and I know that sounds quite blunt, but it's true. Why do you care so much about what people think, or what people might think of you? Because naturally not everyone's gonna like you. You're not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone's gonna like who you are, what you stand for. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us unique. We're not meant to be globally liked by people. That's what makes us who we are. So yeah, really ask yourself, like, why do you care so much if people don't necessarily like you, or they think you're too much? Or like, is that feeling deep rooted in a belief that you're not worthy or not good enough, unless everyone likes you or agrees with you? Technically there's no way people can judge you for being yourself. Really, it shouldn't affect you, as I said, what other people think of you anyway, because if you're the one who's putting yourself out there, taking risks, putting yourself out of your comfort zone, then why is there any reason to judge you in the first place? As I said, it's normally just a reflection of those other people's deep-rooted insecurities a lot of the time. Those people who are super successful, following their dreams, getting up every day and smashing their goals, they're usually too busy to care what other people think of them. They're on a path, they're on their own mission, they're on their way, they're on their journey. And they fully accept that not everyone's gonna like them. Like, I have to fully accept that everyone's not gonna like me, and I can't let it affect me, because if I cared, if you're watching this right now and you think, oh my god, I really don't like her, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm me, and I'm doing my best, I'm trying my hardest, and I know for one person that doesn't like me, there'll be 20 others who will resonate with this video. And that's what I try and think of the positives in every situation. And the chances are these sort of negative people, or the people who are judging you, their negativity and judgment is triggered by something a lot deeper rooted. And that's nothing to do with you. And they're probably triggered because they don't have the confidence, they don't have the ability to step outside their comfort zones or put themselves out there like you were doing. So as I said, does a judgment even really matter, to be honest? Because, as I said, it's just more of a reflection on them. Taking a leap outside your comfort zone isn't an easy ride. I get that. I can fully understand that. There will be ups and downs in any business or any creative journey or anything you do that when you step outside your comfort zone. And there'll be times when you feel really tested, and there'll be times when you just feel like you don't have a clue what you're doing. But if you don't step outside your comfort zone, then the chances are you're just going to continue with your day-to-day life as you are at the moment. And the chances are, if you're watching this video, I suspect that you are quite wanting to change your day-to-day life and make it your creative dream almost, which is so amazing. I'm so proud of you for stepping outside. This is the first step. Like, the fact is you're aware that you have a fear of failure, and it's just a case of watching this video is the first step to doing something about it. So a massive well done for even sort of stepping outside and just being aware. And I just want you to know that you have absolutely everything in your power to make this happen, to make your dreams a reality. It's you're so capable. You're so much more capable than you could ever believe. I was listening to a podcast the other day and it said that people only really understand that they are 5% capable, or they only think they're about 5% capable of their true capabilities. And that was like mind-blowing. It's those limiting beliefs, which is another video I'm going to talk about, or another video I'm going to sort of do. But obviously for you to be able to take that power and do something with it, you really have to be working through these fears of failure. So the last factor of fear is fear of ourselves, which, as I said before, is maybe fear of who we might become if we step outside our comfort zone and do something completely different and change for the better. It can be terrifying, the thought of evolving and changing from what we know and what we're comfortable with. We're comfortable with our lives at the moment, and suddenly if you were to do something, your whole life could change. Like that thought is terrifying. But if you don't step outside your comfort zone, then you'll never, you could create your dream life, and you just have to try and think positively. Don't try not to think like, oh, this could change and I might become a different person, people might perceive me in a different way, and what my friends, what my family are gonna think. Like, you are pursuing, this is your life, you are pursuing your creative dreams, your goals and things like that, and that's amazing. So, and you need to ask yourself, if you are scared of becoming a different person, are you scared of becoming someone who's got very, very clear, strong boundaries, who has a really confident mindset and believes they are so worthy and so capable? Because I really want you to ask yourself, is there actually fear in that? Because I don't think there is. So you really need to try and get to the bottom of where your fear stems from, because I promise you really can't make changes. You really can't make changes in your life if you've got fear holding you back. Fear is never going to go away. It's innate in all of us. As I said at the beginning, it's like a natural human instinct. All of us have fear, but we just need to channel that fear into the right way. Like if we're actually in danger and there's a threat to our life, we're meant to fear, but we need to try and get over these little hurdles that we face on a day-to-day basis, whether it's like fear of judgment, as I said, or fear of failure, or whatever it may be. We just have to try and find ways to cope with that. Everyday life change isn't a threat to us at all, and you shouldn't feel like it is. Sure, change is scary, and that is why we feel fear, but it's not actually a threat to our lives. So I think you really need to ask yourself, as I said, and understand why you feel fear like you do. And when you fully understand where your fear stems from, like, is it fear of judgment? Is it fear of failure? Is it all three? Like, whatever it may be, you need to try and reevaluate your beliefs and start thinking in a way that you can make yourself feel safe. Like, what can you do to re-channel your energy and to make it positive? If you fear, for example, me stepping outside my comfort zone, putting myself on camera. Now, I've stumbled way too much through this video, but I could sit there and I could stare at this camera for like 3 hours and not film, or I can just talk and ramble and talk at you and just know that I can edit it and that I don't have to upload it. And that is me sort of saying, okay, it's a halfway house. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm not saying this is my only option. I've got options, and I think it's still scary. Pressing upload is still going to be scary for me in like an hour's time, wherever I decide that I'm going to upload this. But I've got to do it because I've got to think of the bigger picture. And when I think of the bigger picture and think like, yeah, okay, I'm stepping outside my comfort zone, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable talking on camera right now, I know that hopefully this video will resonate with people, and that's the reevaluating my intentions, and not intentions, but like reevaluating why I'm doing this, and sort of just coming home to myself and saying like, look, if you do this, you're going to be helping someone, and that's why I'm doing this, not because I'm still scared, but I know it's going to benefit me and to keep doing this, and it's also going to benefit other people by hearing my story and hearing what I've got to say and helping. Unless you start working through your fear of failure and really understanding why you feel like you do, then the chances are you will just stay within your comfort zone, and another year will pass and you'll still be living this life that you might not be 100% happy with. You won't be making the life-changing decisions that I know you're so capable of making. As I said, like, when I first bought my very first camera, I didn't take it out of its box for like 2 years, just because I was so scared of putting myself on camera. I was worried that what people were going to think of me. Maybe they didn't like the way I spoke or the way I come across, because I can be quite blunt and direct sometimes. But then I realised that the more I did it and the more I pushed myself outside of my comfort zone and did things that I was uncomfortable with, the more used to it I got. And now the things don't scare me like they used to. The more things that you do to help step outside your comfort zone, then the more you'll get used to these feelings of uncomfortability, and the more excited you'll probably become about it. Because like these days, not a lot terrifies me, whereas 3-4 years ago I was petrified and anxious, feeling anxious all the time. Now I'm a lot more relaxed about a lot of things, and I fully embrace fear. I just look at it like a learning opportunity. And it's when I began to change that mindset and change those belief systems that I had, that I started seeing so much change within myself and my business. And I started to build a business that I was truly proud of. And I'm also I could never ever have started the Creative Business Guide if I was so scared of putting myself out there. Because when you do that, like for me to even start a new Instagram page, I was like, well, how is this going to work? Like what if no one's going to listen to me? What if no one's going to do this? What if no one's going to what if I'm going to say the wrong thing? And it was all these feelings, and I sat on this idea for about a month, and then I was like, look, you're never going to know unless you try. So I just did it on a whim, and so far it's been amazing, and I've met the most amazing people. And again, the same within my business. Like if I hadn't have started sharing my work and putting myself out there, people wouldn't have bought into me and understood me, and I wouldn't have made these amazing connections, got these amazing clients that I'm so fortunate to have now. Like one thing that I will always hold close to me is the fact that I really did start at the bottom of my business. I had no connections, I had nothing, I had no experience, I had no money. And because I started at the bottom, and because I now sit here confidently 6 or 7 years later and say anything is possible with the right mindset, I truly believe that anyone else can do what I've done, and anyone else can set up a super successful business in a short space of time. And all you need is the right mindset and not to be scared to fail. So yeah, I can't thank you enough for watching this video. And if you want to look at what I'm doing further with the Creative Business Guide, then please do check out the Instagram page. I've also got a free ebook, How Not to Be a Starving Artist, which is all meant for creatives who want to pursue their creative business. It's free. I'll put the download link in the description box below, and until next time, which will hopefully be next week, I will see you then. But take care, bye bye.